I'm trying to think of a theme song for the show.
How about you?
No, not that. But all I have so far, the only rhyme I have so far is
Pharaoh.
like life is rough, so sit back and listen to Nat drink and talk about stuff. Like that's all I have so far. So
that's a good start.
Life is rough, so listen to Nat drink and
talk about
stuff.
That's what I'm thinking that's what I have so far.
That's great.
But for now, we're still just doing.
All right.
Just like
Nat drinks and
talks about stuff.
Nat drinks and talks about stuff.
And has 2 guests this time.
Can I be the goddamn host of my own show?
Go ahead.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Nat Drinks and Talks About Stuff. This is a very special episode because I have not one, but 2 guests. This is my brother Paul, who you've seen before. He comes into Fridays and you go, oh, he looks like you. And then this is, you've not seen, this is my friend Meg. Meg is one of the super friends. We have known Meg since she was born because she was she's the youngest of the group. But I sometimes forget that Meg is the youngest one because she's done more with her life than me.
I am a professional.
She's a professional lady. That's why she's drinking water right now.
Drinking water.
That's why she's drinking.
It's all
double fisting, but one's water, so it's okay.
Well, I just banged down 4 glasses of wine, so I am lit right now.
And this is my second vodka and Sprite, but I made them very strong. So we'll say that this is
your 4th.
This is we'll say that this is 3, 4, and 5 are contained within this cup.
Nice.
Because I make it strong. Honestly, like Meg has been to London, and Meg has a real job, unlike serving. So you do, that's the thing, you like, other people in your life, you assume are older than you, or younger than you, based on like what they're doing. So I assume that Meg is older than me when she's not. She's just more put together.
Can I also brag that I paid off my student loans?
I think you can brag that, I mean, I don't have any, can't to us, because Paul, how many student loans do you have?
0.
Oh yeah, me too. When you hear about how just in debt people are and how they're never going to get out of it, like my mind, the way that my mind works, it's like, oh, then you shouldn't bother getting educated in the first, like that's what my mind thinks when it hears about how long you will be in debt. My mind just goes, oh, don't do that. But people do it, and it's important that they do it so that we have doctors and teachers and whatever Meg does for a living.
We need people like Megan
to do what she does. So we were sort of pre-conversing before the video about what we were going to talk about. One thing suggested was about crying at Les Mis. So
I cry approximately 4 times every time that I see the movie.
I think that it's maybe would be the more interesting thing to talk about is what Meg, you were saying earlier, that I'm the same way. I am more willing to cry at a movie or a TV show than at things that happen in real life. And Meg said that she's the same way, which is nice.
Usually, although the other day I started to cry about a homeless person. And while this is going to make me sound like a really bad person, but with the area that I live in, I encounter homeless people on a daily basis, many of them. So it's really not normal. It's not okay for me to be that sensitive about that situation. It will make life very hard for me on a daily basis.
Well, you didn't like the fact that you weren't jaded towards it? You were like, I should feel nothing when I look at this homeless person. It's like, what's wrong with me?
It was the fact that I have seen 99 homeless people, and the 100th one just, I guess, put me over the edge.
Just put you over the edge. Well, see, yeah, I mean, I don't visit New York City often, but when I do, I see homeless people, and I feel bad about it. And, they have their little signs about whatever brought them to that point, and you read it, and you're like, yeah, that sucks, but I'm still not giving you money.
In my defense, I do my part, and I do actually give money, so that is why on a daily basis, I do not want to cry.
The last time Joel and I were, Joel's in the city all the time, but last time I was visiting him in the city, we were in line hoping to get into a comedy show, and that's where homeless people, like that's where they work apparently.
Yeah,
It's
and
like-
there's homeless people that bring in more money than our salaries just from begging.
What?
Yes, I kid you not. There are people that make like 40 grand a year sitting there begging. Tax free, dude.
Where did you hear this from?
This has been on TV.
This is not.
They
gonna-
have careers at sitting there and being lazy and just taking people's change.
I'll agree with careers. I don't know if they make 40 grand.
I don't think they make 40 grand.
Heard of it. And they work only when they want to.
I think this is making us all sound.
They're like, yeah, I just do what
Really
I feel
terrible.
like. And
Well-
I make as
And that
much
we
as I
should
need.
move on
Just
to-
Here's
say
the
that.
thing, though. That I mean, if you're making that much money, are they still homeless? Like, why wouldn't they get?
No, they're not homeless. The whole thing is an act. That's just what they do for a job because they don't pay income tax on it. It's just cash in their pocket, and it's plenty. Plenty for what they need.
I feel like this is not a real thing.
It's real.
It is. In some areas, at least. When I lived in London, over there, they actually take care of people who are homeless. So if you see people sitting out on the street, then we were at least told that they weren't necessarily homeless. That there's quite a few who just know that tourists will think so and will give them money. I don't know if that's actually true. I'm not going to guarantee it, but
There are plenty of people out there douchey enough to accept money for not being homeless. Just being lazy.
Well, but I mean, is it like? Do they like dress up? Is it like, do they have
Yes.
like shit? Like that's their uniform.
Like-
It's like shitty clothes.
Yes.
that they put-
or even people who have like one leg tucked under them and they say that they are
Oh,
missing a
that's
limb.
come on.
No, I'm not.
Oh, that's not
It happens.
cool.
I'm not saying clearly not every person who is on the streets and asking for money is doing some kind of scam, but it exists to
Yep.
some extent.
That's why you can't give money to them.
No.
You just
Well-
can't do it.
Give money. Give money to the Salvation Army. Give them to charities.
Well, see, I give I give money to I give old clothes to Salvation Army, but I think some people feel too good about doing something, like giving stuff that they don't want anymore to Salvation Army. Like if you take a bunch of clothes that don't fit you anymore and drop them off at Salvation Army and like feel good about yourself the rest of the day because you did that, don't. Like you didn't really do anything that great except give away stuff that you couldn't use it anymore, and you're giving it away to someone else. But I feel like some people, they just live off of like that is literally all they need to like feel like they're good people is giving stuff away that they can't use anymore.
Listen, I live with two high maintenance chicks. Okay?
You do?
We donate clothes all the time. I only feel good because I'm making space inside my house.
And see, that's good.
That's it.
That's
Their
good.
Clothes go to somebody.
Because
Whatever. I
that's
don't
literally
care.
the
I'm getting
only
rid of
goodness
them.
that you should feel out of it.
Yeah.
If you feel anything more than that, you're a joke. You're a liar. Which is very excessive. We were talking about crying.
We were talking about Les Mis.
Yeah, crying during Les Mis. 4 things that make me cry during Les Mis. Here we go. Spoiler alert. Number 1. Anne Hathaway singing I Dreamed a Dream will probably make me cry every time. Then number 2 I said was when Eponine dies. That was sad because, she was totally into that dude and he's like, whatever. And she's like, I fucking took a bullet for you. That's really fucked up. So that's sad. And then number 3, which is the manipulative one, is when Russell Crowe, who plays Javert, takes the medal that he has on his coat and he puts it on the dead kid whose name I can never remember.
Gavroche.
Gavroche.
You're welcome.
Gavroche is dead. And Russell Crowe goes over to him and he puts his medal on him and he's like, what we do in life echoes in eternity. And he walks away. And I'm like, that's so manipulative to use that great line from Gladiator in Les Mis. But it gets me every time. And then number 4 is just a finale when they're all on the barricade and Eponine's there in her little cute hat. And they're all waving their flags or whatever. And like Anne Hathaway's there. and Hugh Jackman is there, but he's looking better than he was 30 seconds earlier. Like, all that is emotional stuff, and it's like, tomorrow comes, and then pan out, and you see everyone in face of black, makes me cry.
Man, you're hammered.
I'm just making really good, these are things that make me cry.
So on to the Acronsin.
Acronsin News, do you want to explain, Meg, you're a professional lady. You
I'll
explain
try.
the Acronsin
So
News.
when we were young, very young, we had
Wait, did you say younger young?
young, very young.
Oh, okay. When we were younglings.
We had this. I don't even quite know how to describe it. With this
Oh, do you want me
box
to take
that
over?
Was, no,
It's a plastic
this
toy.
box that was full of these different plastic pieces and parts that you could assemble to make different slides and chutes and things. that
Insert
you would,
picture here.
Yes.
There we go.
Once you had assembled this whole series of slides and chutes, then you would put, ideally, I think, one marble down and watch it go. Maybe one after that. You would do it in an orderly fashion. But
That's
since
not how we
were
rolled.
kids, we would just take our fat kid hands and we would
Yeah,
grab whole,
my fat kid hands.
and we would grab whole handfuls of marbles and we would shove them down the slides. And eventually there would be some kind of jam with all of the marbles, in which case we would need to shout.
Stop the Acronsin.
Thank you. Stop the Acronsin.
But where did the...
Because we called it for, I don't even know what
This is
reason.
what I was going to ask.
The
Because where did it
Acronsin-
originally come from?
The
I believe I
Acronsin
made it
Dosky
up.
Nanny Brat.
Really?
Yes.
One moment.
What
though.
is that based on?
Did you?
Nothing.
No. And
Who
because
made
you
it up?
pronounce it differently than we do. At least I say Acronsin Dosky Nanny Brat. He says Acronsin Dosky a Nanny Brat. A Nanny Brat. I
He's
disagree.
wrong.
Thank you.
We...
Elizabeth also pronounces it my way, so super.
See, I was going to
is
think it was a
majority.
regional thing, but I'm with you on it. And he's just... If it's regional, he's on an island by himself saying things wrong.
It is the Acronsin Dosky Nanny Brat. So when
He's
we
on this
had-
island going across the Dosky and Nanny Brat, and we're all like, you shall remain there until your death.
And we just slammed marbles into the top of this thing, and they would all.
But then it was also...
really spinny things, you know, and then they would get jammed, and we would have to fix the clog, and we're grabbing more that came through, and we're jamming them into the top, and they're all coming down. And this somehow provided us with hours and hours of entertainment, and we
Then there was
we
the
like
point...
sweated. We were going so fast. I remember like I'm sweating.
It was a job in the sense that Mom considers something a job. No, let's talk about cats.
What a transition is that?
Well, because people that love cats are sometimes crazy, and we're talking about our parents.
Yeah.
There's your segue.
We were also earlier talking about how I am going to be a crazy
cat. Well, here's my... I am not into cats, but I was having a conversation with a friend of mine not long ago about the fact that if I met a girl who was a cat lady, not a crazy cat lady, but if she had cats, you know, I could... You know, it was more a conversation about the things that you are willing to change about yourself for the sake of a relationship. And I said that if it was a girl who I really liked and she had cats, like, I could see myself, like, being into the cats for the sake of her. Maybe not that I'm ever a crazy cat guy, but, like, for the sake of finding someone, making a relationship work, I can see myself taking care of a cat. And
Would you
We're
cry
just
when it
talking-
died?
That's really so important. You're talking about what my emotions are towards a cat I haven't met yet.
Are we just talking about one cat though, or a house full?
Um,
Yeah,
I
you
would
said
say
cats. You said cats
threshold.
like plural, like so. That's at least two.
all right. Well,
2
let's.
seems somewhat normal to me. 3, you're borderline at 3.
3,
4,
yes.
you're officially crazy.
Okay, but this kind of goes back into what I was talking about when we were pre-gaming. Is that if you have a house that's big enough for the cats, then you can have 3 and not be crazy.
Though I would say if you are living alone and you own a house that is large enough to contain like 5, 6, however many.
How about you
There's a problem still.
have a house and a roommate? All of the cats in the house are yours. All 3 cats. It's 3 cats. They're all yours. You have a roommate. So you're having social interaction with someone who lives in the house with you. You're having real conversations with a human being, and not all your social interaction is based off of one-sided conversations that you have with 3 different cats who, of course, all have their own personalities that are hilarious.
Of course.
But yeah.
But 3, remember, does not make a crazy
Not according
cat
to me.
lady.
I said
Not
that you're
according to
good
me.
until 5.
And I said 3 was the limit before you became.
Yeah,
a
4.
crazy
So
cat
4
person.
is crazy.
4 enters crazy
Yeah.
territory.
Yeah,
And I
that's
say this as someone who.
when you get your
is
4th
accepting
cat,
the
you're
fact I'm
buying
a
your
crazy
ticket into
dog.
Crazy Town. But I was saying that was like I'd be willing to like be into cats for the sake of like being in a relationship with someone that I actually care about. And she was saying like, and she was like, she as a cat person was like trying to disagree with me. It was like, oh, like you would just change for the sake of like being with someone. And I was like, well, I said any relationship changes you in some way that you are going to do things that you by yourself would not do.
Yeah, I mean,
But here's the thing with her is that she was totally against kids and hated kids, much like I am. And she started dating someone who has a kid, and now she fucking loves this kid. And I'm like, so she's against me saying that I would be into cats. And I was like, you're into kids, like,
which is a lot harder to
which
get
is
into.
way harder to get into. And so it was just this funny. So it's like one of those times where you make an excellent point to someone, and then they realize, oh, I've got nothing, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I thought. So, yeah, cats. Like I still don't get it, but I'm willing to be a cat person.
I mean, I never would have watched an episode of Keeping Up with Kardashians if it wasn't for Kim.
That's not something to be.
And I never would have.
proud of.
I know.
No.
I know, but now I've seen an episode. I don't intend to watch it again. It was really stupid.
I watched a lot of TV when I was dating Elaine that I've not gone back to, and some of it was okay.
Call me. I'm alive.
Oh God! But no,
Every
like
time.
like Golden Girls is actually considered to be like a good sitcom. I, however, won't watch it again just because I associate it with the ex.
Plus, it's old as shit.
And but it's an old show. But The Hills, on the other hand, is a terrible show, and I will never watch it.
It's terrible.
And and then on top of that, I associate it with my relationship.
Yeah.
So
Terrible.
this one thing stuck with me, where this one of the girls on there. Don't ask me for names. One of the girls on there is complaining about, like she's just like, I just want some guy who treats me like a princess because that's what I am, and the friend is like nodding her head, like agreeing with her, and I was like,
she's a princess. Yeah.
and I was like, how did this ever get into people's heads that they think that that's what a relationship is? Mag, I'll ask this to you because you're the girl of the group, but like
You're the chick.
Oh, great.
But tell me if I'm
You're
wrong.
a
But is it
professional.
crazy? Like, are you looking for a guy who is going to treat you like a princess and just let you do whatever you want, or would you rather have a relationship based on reality where it's a give and take, and you both have to make sacrifices and do things for the other person because that's how the real world works, instead of just having someone who's a pushover who just buys you shit and is just like
Dude.
good with whatever you want?
She wants both. Of course she wants both.
I think that everyone has it in their head. Like, maybe you have it in your head, like, it would be nice to have someone that treats me like that. But you understand that what you want is a fantasy.
I would say I wouldn't want someone who treats me like a princess per se. Not I don't like this word princess.
I hate the word princess.
Reality, yes, but from both sides there should be nice gestures.
I'm saying it's both sides.
Yes,
Compliments.
But to be like, but that's not what she wanted.
No,
what she
it's
wanted
because-
was for it to all be one-sided and for it to all be given to her, and she would never have to give anything back in exchange for what she was getting. That's
Yeah.
what she wanted, and I don't even understand how you could. How could you never want to give anything back to the person that cares about you and that you're with? Like, how would it not be within you? I feel like we're done here.
It's been another episode of Nat Drinks.
No,
A
stop.
lot.
stop.
talks about things.
A lot.
Stuff.
And talks about
You don't
shit.
get to end things.
Nat is so drunk right now. I'm ending this program right now.
Nat is drunk and talked about stuff. The end.
Boom.
We already ended it
Episode
earlier.
11. People.
Not even close.
What are we at?
8.
25? Not 25. 20?
Oh shit. Episode 20.
Episode 21.
This is a two-part.
Episode
Just in case.
22.
This is a two-parter right here. I feel like this is
Episode
more than
23.
one episode. This is I'll post some of it tomorrow. Then
You
just
do
be like,
kind of have to go part 1 of.
yeah, we can split this up into this is an arc.
Of